Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrating to Australia? Perhaps you should consider to subscribe to my channel and turn a little bell on the side, so once we all have all the updates, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Now, I've received this information and news which was published yesterday. I think it's quite interesting by means of what I can see. The newly appointed Minister of Immigration, Alex Hawke, is actually very migrant friendly. By means it's actually opening up a pathway for people who actually on a judicial or perhaps a merit review, meaning that they are on a bridging visa waiting for a review. Generally, you may know as Section 48 bar. Now, Alex is lifting that up, meaning that you can actually still apply for visa. Wow. I mean, from my practice over the past 10 plus years, I've never seen a Minister of Immigration does this. Anyway, let's check out the information and the news. Okay, so you probably have seen this, and this actually came up yesterday. Now, it shocked the industry. There's actually some of the very experienced barristers and migration legal professionals is actually saying the integrity has been breached. But I personally think it's very good because it's obviously back in the last 10, 20, 30 years, the world had never experienced a pandemic like what we have just experienced, but it also shows how this virus, the COVID-19, had actually hit the economy of Australia, very deep. In order for the government of Australia to actually consider lifting this Section 48 bar. So the title says these visa applicant affected by Australian travel restriction can now apply skilled migration pathway. Whoa, what does that mean? Okay, so the Department of Home Affairs has lifted Section 48 bar for 3 skilled migration visa, minimizing the impact of COVID-19 on onshore applicant preventing leaving Australia due to travel restriction. Now, if you have been following skilled migration for a lot of state nomination, you may notice on their homepage or on their criteria page, they'll say, we will not accept anyone under Section 48 bar. That means people have been either affected by, I recall 2 or 3 years ago, back in the 2017, 18 and 19, there has been a lot of employer-sponsored applicants who has been affected due to visa refusal, and they were on a bridging visa for very long because there was a huge backlog. I actually done a video, I forgot, probably last year some date. There were 20,000 people on AAT waiting for the visa to actually be reviewed. Now, these people are what they call Section 48 bar applicant. They're onshore, they're in Australia, but they cannot apply for any other visas. Now, the Minister of Immigration is opening that options up. So, in the reprieve thousands of visa applicants, again, thousands. You see, there's a lot of these peoples, and obviously the government want them to stay, and that's why they're lifting this one. So they can actually apply for 491, 494, and 190. Now these are all the state nomination applicants. I'm not too sure why they are not open for 189, but anyhow, 491, 494, and 190, they are all state sponsored, state nomination. So I'm expecting all the states around Australia, so New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, you name it, South Australia, Northern Territory, Western Australia, Tasmania, and ACT will update their state migration website in order to accept. So these people can actually put their EOI in, and as you can see, a lot of people have been experiencing delay and backlog on EOI, and with this lifting, I believe the whole EOI is going to accept a lot more application in now. Okay, so let's continue to read on. In an explanatory statement, the Department of Home Affairs states that this amendment facilitates application of Australian by applicants who are prevented from leaving due to COVID-19 related travel restriction, and they know there are certain number of these skilled migrants. They were previously actually being employed and working for an employer, and due to the cut down, remember, back in 2017-18, political reasons, a lot of these people, while they're waiting for their permanent residency, unfortunately, the sponsor employment visa has been rejected, and all these people are actually skilled, and perhaps they were all working for regional employer. I think this is a huge good wins for the migrants. Okay, so let's have a look. Mr. Glassbrook, who spearheaded the petition seeking temporary amendments of Section 48 bar, said it is wonderful to see the Regulation 2.12 has been amended, which is very good. I'm welcome on this one as well, given the travel restriction imposed during COVID and unintended consequences had as many aspiring skilled migrant. That's exactly what I'm just described. They'll be able to launch these three type of visas. Obviously, you need to meet those three type of visas criteria in order to be nominated and launch the visa. And what is S48, Section 48 bar? So this is a little bit of explanation. Section 48 applies to applicants who are in Australia without substantive visa, or their visa was refused or cancelled. So obviously, I had just explained all that. In circumstances, they basically had lodged for appeal because it wasn't fair for them, but COVID-induced restriction and prospective visa applicant, those who were secure invited state nomination, could not exit country due to lack of international flights. So what happened then? These skilled migrants actually are very good. They actually meet the state requirement, but because Section 48 bar need them to be lodged the visa and be nominated offshore. Now, how can you do offshore if there is so much of international restrictions? And this was caused by the government itself. So that's the reason they are lifting it. Okay, so the situation has been very good because this guy is in Darwin. Got it lifted so they can actually see the date here, 2017, or refused under 187, which was the regional skill migration scheme. They were more than 20,000 from what I last checked, and all these people can actually lodge for 491, 494, or 190 now, perhaps. So they were also some of the temporary skill shortage visa. But they were also refused that they'll be able to lodge that visa. So these are some testimonial from other skilled migrants, and most visa applicants subject to Section 48 bar are highly skilled individuals. As you see, I think the government has come in the sense that these skilled migrants predominantly they were all heading to regional. For some reason, back then I think the Minister of Immigration was Peter Dutton, who is the Minister of Defence. Actually killed 20,000 of these visa migrants by rejecting all the. Imagine the family, and I'm counting on a family member as well. So many family has been affected. I personally had written the email letter to the minister, but hasn't gotten anything. But anyhow, 2021. Thank God we had something that to be reflected on, and this is very good. I actually very welcome on the decision of this new Minister of Immigration, Alex Hall. I think it's wonderful. Take your opportunity. If you have more questions, more than welcome to leave a comment right down below. I'll see you next video. Goodbye.